Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about the MCQ questions and answers from the fifth unit, the analysis of LTI discrete time system. So already I posted one video from the fifth unit, okay, the part 15. So this is the next video. Uh, so we will see the questions. So first you see the first question is find the overall impulse response H of n when two systems H1 of n is equal to U of n and H2 of n is equal to del of n plus 2 into del of n minus 1 are in series. Okay. So already in the previous video we discussed what is the overall impulse response when the two systems are connected in cascade and when two systems are connected in parallel. Okay. So using that one, this is the problem. So here the two systems that are connected in series. Series means it is nothing but a cascade. The first system is having the impulse response H1 of n is equal to U of n, and the second system is having the impulse response H2 of n is equal to del of n plus 2 into del of n minus 1. And these two systems are connected in series means what is the overall impulse response? Okay, that is the question. So already you know when the two systems are connected in series means the overall impulse response is nothing but it's a convolution between the two individual impulse responses. Okay, so the overall impulse response H of n equal to H1 of n convolution with H2 of n. So this is the thing when the two systems are connected in series or cascade. If the two systems are connected in parallel means the overall impulse response is nothing but addition of the two things. Okay. So here we have to substitute the value of H1 of n and H2 of n. So what is H1 of n? H1 of n is U of n. Convolution with the H2 of n is del of n plus 2 into del of n minus 1. So that's why we have to take a convolution between these two things. So if you are expanding U of n convolution with del of n plus 2 into del of n minus 1, it can be written as the U of n convolution with the first thing in that H2 of n del of n plus U of n convolution with 2 into del of n minus 1. So already you know the property of convolution with any signal with impulse signal. So here you know convolution with any signal with the unit impulse signal, it gives the same signal x of n. So here the u of n convolution with the del of n, you know the same answer u of n we will get. Similarly plus u of n convolution with 2 into del of n minus 1. So here 2 is a constant, you take it outside. Then u of n convolution with a del of n minus 1. So in order to solve this convolution, we have to use the property convolution with shifted impulse. Okay. So in impulse, there is another one property, convolution with the shifted impulse is that any signal convoluted with a shifted impulse signal del of n minus n naught, where n naught is the amount of shift, means the answer is that signal x shifted by this amount n minus n naught. So according to this, in the place of x of n, here u of n is there. In the place of del of n minus n naught, del of n minus 1 is there. So the answer is that u of n minus 1. So the overall impulse response is u of n plus 2 into u of n minus 1. This is the answer. So what is the answer? You check. So the first one is the addition of these two things. Okay, so this is not a correct. It's a convolution. So the convoluted answer is u of n plus 2 into u of n minus 1. So B is the answer. Okay. Then the next question. Find the overall impulse response when two systems h1 of n is equal to del of n and h2 of n is equal to del of n minus 1 are in parallel. Okay. So here they are telling it as the two systems that are connected in parallel. Okay. The first system is having the impulse response del of n and the second system is having the impulse response del of n minus 1, means what is the overall impulse response. So already you know when two systems are connected in parallel, the overall impulse response is given by it is an addition of the individual impulse responses. Okay. When two or more systems are connected in parallel, the overall impulse response is nothing but addition of the individual impulse responses. Okay, so that's why the h of n is nothing but the h1 of n plus h2 of n. So del of n plus del of n minus 1. So here you see A is the correct answer. Okay, so in B, convolution is given. So it's wrong. This is the wrong. So del of n plus del of n minus 1 is the correct answer. Okay, then you see the next question. Two discrete time system with impulse response h1 of n is equal to del of n minus 1, h2 of n is equal to del of n minus 2 are connected in cascade. The overall impulse response of the cascaded system is dash. Okay, this is the question. So here the two system. So already know if the two systems are connected in cascade means the overall impulse response is nothing but it is a convolution between the individual impulse response. So what is the first thing? Del of n minus 1 convolution with del of n minus 2. Okay. So what is the answer? So you just check this thing is there or not. This condition del of n minus 1 convolution with del of n minus 2 is there or not. You just check. So here this type of answer is not given. So the answer is in addition, multiplication, del of n minus 3, del of n minus 4 is there. Okay, so that's why you just reduce this answer, del of n minus 1 convolution with del of n minus 2. So the answer for this convolution is that del of n minus 3. Okay, so why means? So according to the convolution with the shifted impulse signal, already you know this property. Any signal convoluted with shifted impulse is that signal shifted by this amount. Okay, so in this case, in the place of x of n, you just consider the first del of n minus 1. This del of n minus 1, you just consider as a x of n. So this x of n convoluted with del of n minus 2 means, so the answer is that the x of n shifted by this 2 amount. So del of n minus 1 minus 2. So what is the answer? Del of n minus 3. Okay, so the answer is h of n equal to del of n minus 3. This is the correct answer. Okay, so in a similar way, you just solve. Okay, so this is a very important problem in this fifth unit. Okay, so similar to this problem already we discussed in third unit also. If the two systems, continuous time systems are connected in cascade parallel, the overall impulse response, the calculation of overall impulse response. So that is also a very important question in third unit. So similar to that one in fifth unit also these type of question is there. Okay. Then the next question, the overall impulse response of the system is given by dash. Okay, so here one block diagram is given. So here you see the 5 systems are connected in some series and parallel combination. Okay, so you just find the overall impulse response of the system. So already these type of problem we solved in a fifth unit. Okay, so fifth unit also. So in signals and system playlist, so all problems, okay, these problems are university questions. All problem already we solved separately in that. So if you want to learn those videos means I will give the link for those videos in the description box. Okay, or in a signals and system playlist, all videos from first unit to fifth unit. So topic wise in order, all topics are there. Okay, so you can see. So here you see the impulse, overall impulse response of the system. So here first you see this is the system 1, okay, with impulse response h1. This is the system 2. So here the system 1, system 2 are connected in which combination? Parallel. Okay, then this parallel combination is connected in series with the third system, and this combination is parallelly connected with the fifth system, and finally it is connected with the last fourth system. Okay, so we have to reduce so this system reduction we have to reduce similar to that resistor reduction, you know, in we studied in circuit analysis. So similar to that one we have to follow step by step. Okay, so the first step is to, so this two system, the h1 of n and h2 of n, it is connected in parallel. So already you know the two systems are connected in parallel means what is the overall impulse response? It is the addition of the two things. Okay, but here you see here there is a summer here. In that summer, here plus symbol is given, here minus symbol is given. So that's why you have to subtract this h1 of n minus h2 of n. Okay, so these two systems are connected in parallel. If this plus minus is not given means you just add. But here in this adder, there is a symbol plus minus is given. Similarly, here also plus minus is given. So you have to see this minus symbol. So these two systems are connected in parallel means the overall impulse response of this system is mentioned by H1 of n minus H2 of n. This is the step number 1. Okay. Then, so this 2 block is replaced by H1 of n minus H2 of n. Then this parallel combination is in series with this H3. Okay. So if the two systems that are connected in series or cascade means what is the overall impulse response? It's a convolution between the two things. So that's why the second step is that the H1 of n minus H2 of n convolution with H3. Okay. So this 3 block is replaced by 1 block. This impulse responses, this one H1 of n minus H2 of n convolution with H3. Okay. And this 3 is connected in parallel with, here there is a fifth system, H5 is there. Okay, H5 parallel combination. So here there is a subtractor. This is plus and the lower line is minus. Okay, this is plus and minus. So now these two systems that are connected in parallel. So how can you replace this parallel combination? This answer minus this answer. Okay, since there is a subtraction symbol is given here. Okay, so that's why the H1 of n minus H2 of n convolution with H3 minus H5 of n. Okay, so you see the answer for the third step is this one. H1 of n minus H2 of n convolution with H3 minus H5 of n. Okay, then this complete answer is in series with this H4. Okay, so H4 means series connection. So H4 means we have to take convolution. So the final answer is that this answer convolution with H4 of n. So this is the overall impulse response of the given system. So step by step we have to follow. First one, the first system and second system connected in parallel. Then this answer connected in series with the third. Then this total answer is parallelly connected with H5. Then that answer is in series with H4. Okay, so the answer is C. Okay, so you see H1 minus H2 convolution with H3 minus H5 convoluted with H4. Okay, so this is the answer for this problem. And the next question, find the convolution of x1 of n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, x2 of n is equal to 2, 1, 2, 1. So find the convolution sum, that is discrete convolution of these two sequence. Okay. So in order to perform this convolution process, so we have to follow the matrix method, okay, or tabulation method. So already the problems discussed in that 5th unit. Okay, so here you see the question is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 1, 2, 1. So in order to perform the convolution process, here the tabulation method you see in that one, the first thing, okay, we have to make table. Okay, in that in one side you just write x1 of n value, in another side you just write x2 of n value. What is the x1 of n value? 1, 2, 3, 4. The x2 of n is 2, 1, 2, 1. Okay, then you just multiply element by element. That is this first one multiplied by all elements in this row wise. So 1 into 2, 2. Then 1 into 1, 1. 1 into 2, 2. 1 into 1, 1. Similarly, the second element 2 multiplied with 2, 4. 2 multiplied with 1, 2. 2 multiplied with 2, 4. 2 multiplied with 1, 2. Similarly, the 3 is multiplied with this 4 thing, you just write. Then the 4 multiplied with this 4 value, you just write. Okay. After multiplying all values, you just split the elements diagonally. Okay. So first you see, in the first diagonal separation, only one element is there. Then next diagonally you have to split. So in the second diagonal, 2 element will be there. Then the third diagonal, 3 element. Then the 4 elements. Then again it reduced to 3, 2, 1. Okay. So diagonally you just separate. Then you just add the elements in the diagonal separation. That is the answer. So in the first separation, what is the answer? 2. So 2, comma. The next one, 4 plus 1, 5. Then 6 plus 2 plus 2, 10. Then 8 plus 3 plus 4 plus 1, 16. Similarly, you write, add these elements, you just write. So the x1 of n convolution with x2 of n is 2, 5, 10, 16, 12, 11, 4. Okay, this is the answer. This is the convolution, sum of discrete convolution of these things. So the answer is that A. Okay, 2, 5, 10, 16, 12, 11, 4. Okay, this is the answer. Then find the convolution sum of the sequence x1 of n is 1, 2, 3, x2 of n is 2, 1, 4. Okay, so similarly, you just solve the second problem. Okay, find the convolution sum of 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 4. So you write x1 of n in one side, x2 of n in one side. So you may write x2 here, x1 here also. Okay, same answer we will get. Since the convolution process, it obeys the law commutative property. Okay, so that's why 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 4. You multiply this one with each element of this one. So 2, 1, 4. Then 2 multiplied with this. You just write, right? Then diagonally you split. Okay, so you split and the answer is, what is the first answer? 2. The second 4 plus 1, 5. Then 12. 11, 12. Okay, so this is the answer. So x1 of n convolution with x2 of n is 2, 5, 12, 11 and 12. So the answer you see, the answer A, 2, 5, 12, 11, 12. This is the answer. Okay, so how many elements, the convolution, the output, the number of elements in the output sequence, it consists of the number of elements in a first sequence plus number of elements in a second sequence minus 1. Okay, that is, you see, in the first element, three samples are there. In the second sequence, 3 samples are there. So how many sequence in a output data means, that is nothing but 3 plus 3 minus 1. So 6 minus 1, 5. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 data we will get. Okay, this is the thing about the convolution sum. Okay, then the next problem, the convolution of x of n equal to 1, 2, 3, 1 and h of n equal to 1, 2, 1, 1 minus 1, origin at 2 in both sequence. Okay, so what is the origin at 2? That is, if in one discrete sequence, if arrow mark is not given means, so by default we have to take this first sequence as a origin. Okay, but here they are mentioning in x of n, h of n, origin is at 2. So where is 2? This is the 2. So in 2 there is an origin. So origin means under 2 you just draw arrow. So what is the meaning of this arrow? Means this arrow indicates this is the value of x of n at n equal to 0. Okay. So the sequence x of n, it starts from x of minus 1 to x of 2. Okay, this is n equal to 0. So this 1 is the at n equal to minus 1. This 3 is the n equal to plus 1. 1 is the n equal to 2. Similarly, the h of n is also, this is n equal to 0. So this 1 is the h of minus 1 value. This is h of 1 value. Minus 1 is the h of 2 value. Okay, so using this, we have to perform the convolution process. Okay, so you see, in order to perform this convolution, so here the arrow is given. This is the origin value. Okay, if the arrow mark is not given means, by default, we have to take this first sequence as an origin. Okay, so in a similar way only, we have to solve the thing. So you just write x of n in one side, h of n in one side. So you multiply element by element, and diagonally you just split and add those values. We will get what is the first answer? 1. Second 2 plus 2, 4. Then 4, 3, 1, 8. 8, 3 minus 2 minus 1. Okay, so after calculating this, we have to put arrow under which sequence. Okay, so that is important. If the arrow is not at all given means, so in the previous two problem, the arrow mark is not at all given. Okay, that means, what is the meaning means, this one is the first data. Similarly, in this second data also, this is the origin. So that's why in answer also, the first sequence is the origin. Okay, by default we have to take. But in this thing, the first sequence is having the origin is at this place, and the h of n is having the origin at this place. Okay, so what about the output data? Where is the origin of this output data? Means it is calculated by, so we have to use one more procedure. So what is the thing means? So the lower index of the y of n. Okay, the lower index of y of n means, you see, The y of n answer consisting of how many data? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 data. So in this 7 data, in order to find out the lower index, upper index, we have to follow these two things. So the lower index of y of n is calculated by lower index of x of n plus lower index of h of n. So what is the lower index of x of n? Lower index means this x of n, it starts at n equal to what value? So you see, this is the n equal to 0. So what is this one? This one is the n equal to minus 1. So the lower index of this x of x of n is minus 1. And what is the higher index? Higher index is 2. Similarly, the lower index of this h of n is also minus 1. The higher index is 2. Okay. So if you want to find the lower index of y of n is nothing but lower index of x plus lower index of h. So minus 1 plus minus 1 minus 2. Similarly, the higher index of y of n is calculated by adding the higher index of x with h. Okay. So what is the higher index of x? 2. What is the higher index of h in this problem? 2. So 2 plus 2, 4. So that means the y of n, this y of n, it starts at n equal to minus 2 and it will end at n equal to 4. So you see, so this is the starting. So this data indicates this is the n equal to minus 2. Okay. So if it is a n equal to minus 2 means what is the next one? N equal to minus 1. So this is n equal to 0. So under this 8, you just put arrow. Then next 8 is n equal to 1. This is n equal to 2. This is n equal to 3. This is n equal to 4. Okay, so we will get the y of n from minus 2 to plus 4. Okay, so this is the answer. So you see the 4 answer is given. 1, 4, 8, 8, 3, minus 2, minus 1, origin at 8. So this is the correct answer. In the second data, origin at 4 is given. So this is not wrong. The remaining is wrong. So this A is the correct answer. Okay, so if arrow is mentioning means, so in the problem here, the arrow, it will be, so instead of mentioning this origin at 8, so there is an arrow is given under this 8. Okay, so similar to this, the answer will be given. So you just mark this one. Okay, A is the correct answer. So these are all the convolution sum problems. So it is also a important 2-mark problem in this 5th unit. Okay, so the next question. So next one, we are going to discuss about the causality and the stability of the discrete time system. Okay, so it's a very important thing in terms of 1-mark question as well as the 2-mark question. Okay, so first you see an LTI DT system is causal if and only if the 4th thing is given. One is the impulse response is 0 for negative values of time. Impulse response is 0 for positive values of time. Impulse response is absolutely summable. Impulse response is absolutely integrable. Which one is correct? For one LTI system, the LTI DT system is causal if and only if the impulse response is 0 for negative value of time. Okay, one system is said to be causal. The impulse response, it is available only for the positive time. So for negative value of time, it should be 0. Okay, so A is the answer. So what is the condition for LTI DT system to be causal? Okay, the same question, but here that is the condition is mentioning in as a sentence. So here the condition is given. So the h of n equal to 0 for n less than 0. Yes, this is the correct answer. Okay, what is h of n? Impulse response. Impulse response is 0 for n less than 0. N less than 0 means what is the meaning? Negative value of time. So you see, this is the correct answer. Okay, this is the condition for the system to be causal. Okay, similarly for LTI CT system, for continuous time system, the 3rd unit, what is the condition means? H of t equal to 0 for t less than 0. Okay, in order to differentiate the continuous time and discrete time, the variable n, it is defined for discrete system time. The small t is used for the continuous time variable. Okay, so this is the condition. Then next one, check the system with impulse response h of n equal to a power n u of n is causal or not. Okay, so using this, okay, this is the condition in order to check the given system is causal or not. If this condition is satisfied means the system is said to be causal, otherwise anti-causal. So using this condition, we have to solve this problem. Okay, so this problem is important, 2 mark question. So you see the impulse response. What is the impulse response? A power n u of n. So what is the meaning of a power n u of n? Any function multiplied with u of n means, you know, this total function is only available for the positive time. For the negative time, the impulse response is 0. Okay, so already you know. So that's why the given system is a causal. So yes, okay, the system is a causal only. Okay, so the reason is the given impulse response h of n equal to a power n u of n. Okay, u of n is, since u of n means this impulse response is only available for the positive time. So for negative time, the h of n value is 0. So it is a causal. Similarly, you see the next problem. Check the system with impulse response h of n equal to a power n u of minus n minus 1 is causal. So here you see the impulse response, here the a power n multiplied with u of minus n minus 1. So you know what is u of minus n minus 1? U of minus n minus 1 means this unit step sequence is having the amplitude 1 for the negative time, minus infinity to minus 1. Okay, so that's why this impulse response is completely available for the negative time. So this impulse response is not satisfying our condition h of n equal to 0 for n less than 0. So that's why this system is said to be anti-causal. So this sequence is not a causal. This is the anti-causal, okay, or non-causal. The given impulse response is non-causal since impulse response is available for negative value of time. Okay, it is not satisfying our condition. So this is non-causal system. Then the next one, the impulse response of discrete time system is given by h of n equal to u of n plus 3, whether the system is causal or not. Okay, so the system with impulse response h of n equal to u of n plus 3 is causal or not. So what is u of n plus 3? U of n plus 3, it is nothing but n plus 3 is, it is a time advanced version of u of n. So the u of n plus 3 means this u of n plus 3 is having the amplitude 1, 1, 1 from minus 3 to infinity. Okay, from for the time minus 3 to infinity, the u of n plus 3 is having the amplitude 1. So this impulse response is available in a negative time axis. So that's why this system is non-causal. Okay, so the system is non-causal. What is the condition in order to check the system is causal? The impulse response is full and full available only in positive time. For negative time, the impulse response is 0 means the system is said to be causal. Okay, but the given impulse response is available for the negative time, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1 also, the impulse response is available. So it is not a causal, it's a non-causal. Okay, then which is correct? You see the 4 condition is given, and LTI DT system is causal if and only if its impulse response is 0 for negative value of time. Okay, it's a correct. For causal LSI system, that is linear system, we know that the ROC is exterior part of circle, correct? Okay, so for causal system, the ROC, okay, ROC means the region of convergence for the transfer function of system is the exterior part of circle. Yes, it's correct. Then for stable system, the ROC includes unit circle. It is also a correct. So all of the above. So all of the above is the answer. Okay, so all these conditions are true only. For a causal system, impulse response is 0 for negative value of time. For causal system in terms of ROC, if the ROC is exterior part of the circle means that is the causal system. For stable system, the ROC includes unit circle. Okay, so all conditions are correct only. So using this using this each condition, so there will be a separate question also. Okay, the next one, the condition for causality is that the ROC of the system function should be exterior part of the circle having radius r, and the r should be less than infinity. This is true or not? Yes. Okay. So if we want to check the given system is causal or not in terms of ROC, ROC means region of convergence. Okay. So if for one system transfer function, okay, transfer function means h of z, capital H of z. So for one system transfer function, if you are drawing the ROC diagram, if the ROC is exterior part of circle having radius some r, means that system is said to be causal system. Okay, it's a true only. If the ROC is interior part of the circle, means the system is an anti-causal system. Okay, so it's a true only. Then the next one, the LTI DT system is stable. The 4 condition is given. Okay, so what is the, in order to check the system is stable or not, the condition is that, you see this next question, what is the condition for LTI DT system to be stable? Summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity h of n, it should be greater than infinity. N equal to 0 to infinity h of n less than infinity. Summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity h of n, it should be less than infinity. This is the correct answer. That is, the impulse response is absolutely summable, means the system is said to be stable. Okay, this is the condition for stability for discrete time system. So the same question only here in sentence, in line they are mentioning the LTI DT system is stable. Impulse response is 0 for negative value of time. No. Okay, this is for causality. The impulse response is absolutely summable. Yes, this is the answer. The impulse response is absolutely summable, means the LTI system is said to be stable. Similarly, for LTI CT system, for continuous time system is stable in when, means the impulse response is absolutely integrable. Okay, so this is the condition. Okay, the summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity h of n, it should be less than infinity. This is the condition for stability. Okay, then the next one. So using this stability condition, so some problems. The impulse response of LTI system as h of n equal to sine pi n. Check whether the system is stable or not. Okay, so what is the condition in order to check the system is stable or not? If the system, it satisfies the condition summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity h of n, it should be less than infinity, means that is the stable condition. Okay, so in this formula you just substitute the value of h of n. Okay, so here you just substitute the value of h of n. So summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity sine pi n. Okay, so you just substitute the value of n from minus infinity to infinity in this sine pi n. So first one in center, n equal to 0. Okay, then n for n sine pi, sine any pi values 0 only. Okay, sine pi, sine 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, all pi is 0. So that's why the summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity h of n value, it should be finite. Okay, for any value of n, the sine pi n value is 0. Sine pi, sine minus pi, sine 2 pi, 3 pi, all values are 0 only. Okay, so that's why it satisfies this condition. So the impulse response sine pi n is stable. Okay, then a system is stable if ROC includes unit circle, exclude unit circle, lies on circle, entire plane. Includes unit circle. Okay, in terms of ROC, in terms of impulse response, this is the condition. Okay, in terms of impulse response, if we want to check the system is stable or not, if the impulse response is absolutely summable, means that is a stable. Okay, in terms of ROC, if we want to check the system is stable or not, if the ROC includes unit circle. Okay, within the ROC, this ROC must include unit circle, means circle of radius 1. If it include, means that is said to be the stable. Okay, then what is the condition for the LTI DT system to be causal and stable? Okay, both one system, it should be a causal and it's stable, means what is the combined condition? So the first you see ROC is exterior part of circle. This is the condition for causality. ROC is interior part of circle. No. Okay, then ROC is exterior part of circle, and the R, it should be less than 1. Yes, correct. Okay, so this one is the causality, and the ROC includes unit circle, means that is the stability. So the R value, the radius value, it should be less than 1. Okay, so this is the combined condition for one system to be causal and stable. In fourth thing, you see less than R. So interior part of circle, this is not correct. Okay, so this one is a correct in order to check causal and stable. Modulus of Z greater than R, and the radius, it should be less than 1. Okay, that's the thing. Then what about the stability of the system? H of Z is equal to this one. Okay, so here the system transfer function is given. Okay, transfer function is given. We have to check the system stability. Okay, system stability. So in order to check the system is stable or not, so one way is to, we have to find the impulse response, and if that impulse response is absolutely summable, means we can say that it is a stable. Or otherwise, in terms of pole, we can say that the given system is stable or not. Okay, so just here you see how many pole, what is mean by pole? The roots of the denominator polynomial, it is called as a poles. Okay, so what is the first pole? The pole Z is equal to 0.4 is the first pole, Z is equal to 0.2 is the second pole. Okay, if all pole lies within the unit circle, means the system is said to be stable. So here the two poles are having the value less than 1. So that's why the system is said to be stable. Okay, this is the one of the way in order to check the system to be stable or not. Okay, in terms of pole, if all poles lies within the unit circle, means the system is said to be stable. Okay, then the next question, the system with a given pole 0 diagram is this one. Okay, so pole, what is 0? That is the roots of the denominator polynomial, we are calling it as a poles. Similarly, the roots of the numerator polynomial, we are calling it as a zeros. And in Z plane, these poles are mentioned by the cross symbol. Zeros are mentioned by small circle. So here you see the poles and zeros are mentioned. So this is a pole. Okay, this one is a pole. This is a pole. These are all the two poles given. Okay, 1 by 4, 4. 2 pole is given. So you see here, the 3 zeros is given. 3 zeros. So this is 1 0, this is 1 0, this is 1 0. So 3 zeros are given. Okay. So we can say that this system is causal, non-causal, both-sided, not possible. What is the answer? Okay. So here, that is number of poles is 2. Number of zeros is 3. So what is the meaning means? So if the number of zeros, the roots of the numerator polynomial is 3. So the numerator polynomial is having third order equation, but here only two poles. Okay, so the roots of, that is the order of the denominator polynomial, it is 2. So usually while designing one system, the numerator polynomial, it should be less than the denominator polynomial. Okay, for example, you see here in this problem, the numerator polynomial, it is also second order equation. The denominator polynomial is also second order equation. So it is equal. It's correct. Okay. But numerator polynomial is always less than or equal to the order of the denominator polynomial. That is the actual realizable system. But here, the numerator polynomial is having the order 3, but the denominator polynomial is having the order 2. Okay, so this is not possible in the physical realization of system. Okay, so that's why not possible. The system is, this type of system is, realization is not possible. That is the answer. So you see, the numerator power will be greater than the denominator. So such a transfer function is not realizable. Then the next question, if the h of z is equal to 1 plus z inverse by 1 minus 5 by 6 z inverse plus 1 by 6 z power minus 2, the poles of h of z are at dash. Okay, so what does mean by poles? Poles means the roots of the denominator polynomial. We are calling it as a poles. So this denominator polynomial, you just factorize. find out the root. So the roots, it is 1 by 2 and 1 by 3. So that the roots are, we are calling it as a poles. So z equal to 1 by 2, z equal to 1 by 3 is a poles. Okay, so you just factorize of the second order equation and you just find the answer 1 by 2, 0.5 and 0.333. That is the answer. Then the next question, if the system transfer function of discrete time system h of z equal to z by z minus 1, then the system is stable, unstable, stable at z equal to 1, unstable at z equal to 1. Which one is correct? The option A, that is stable. Okay, so why this system is said to be stable means, you see, in this equation, what is the pole? The pole value is 1. Okay, so we have to mark the pole at 1. So ROC is this one. Okay, so the ROC is the exterior part of the circle. Okay, so in ROC, this one includes. Okay, ROC includes the unit circle. So the system is said to be stable system. Next one, the range of values of A and B for which the linear time invariant system with impulse response h of n equal to a power n for n greater than 0, b power n for n less than 0 will be stable if in which condition. Okay, so for a less than 1 and the modulus of b is greater than 1. This is the condition. In this condition, this system, it should be stable. Okay, for a it should be less than 1. This b value, it should be greater than 1 means the system to be stable. And next one, if the h of z is equal to z into this divided by z minus 0.4, z minus 2, then the system is causal, non-causal, causal at this, non-causal at this. Okay, this system is said to be causal only. Okay, since the, that is the, here there are two poles there, one is 0.4, one is 2. So what is the ROC? The ROC is exterior part of the circle having radius 2. So that's why the system is said to be causal. Okay, so these are all the some of the problems related with the cascaded interconnection of system and a convolution problem, then causality and stability, how to check the given system is causal or not, how to check the given system is stable or not in terms of impulse response, ROC and poles. Okay, we discussed in this video. So in next video, we will see the remaining part. So thanks for watching my channel and please subscribe my channel for more videos. If you want to learn more about this 50 unit problems means, so separately that is posted different videos for stability, causality and the problems related to this causality, stability, interconnection of systems, so thing. So I will give link for those videos in the description box and icon also, you can see. Okay, so thank you.